Hi, everybody. This is Darren Dunlop from the Fargo Moorhead West Fargo Chamber. I am very, very honored today to be welcoming Corey Schultz, who's the Vice President of Sales for Hebron Brick. Now, many of you who've traveled west as you head out towards Medora and parts unknown out in the western part of the state have probably seen the exit for Hebron. But Hebron is home to one of the oldest companies in North Dakota. And I'm honored today to have Corey with us today. So Corey, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for the offer, Darren. I appreciate to be here.
So Corey, could you give us a little bit of a background about Hebron Brick? You know, how old is the company and how long have you been in existence in Hebron, North Dakota?
Darren, the company has been around since 1904. Back then, there was two gentlemen that started the company. Through all these years, and really and truly, the reason it's out there is because of the clay source. Basically, you put your facility as close as you can to your clay source just to help out with expenses and costs. So we are located in Hebron, North Dakota. We have a great vein of clay out there, which is about anywhere from 8 to 10 miles to the north of our facility. A couple of guys by the name of Charles Weigel and Ferdinand Lutz started the company in 1904. Say that fast a couple times. And back in the day, there was probably about 18 plants, Darren, if you can believe that, in North Dakota. But throughout the years, obviously, those plants did not last and weren't around. So, and really, the reason the plant was built was because of the economy and the need for products like ours. It's been through changes of ownerships, always been solely owned by 1, 2, or 3 people. The last current owner was Rodney Pasica. Rodney has been with the company for, many years. I started in 85, and at that time, Rodney was a sales manager. So Rodney has done great things for our company. In 1999 was the last kind of big addition. What we did is we did a brand new manufacturing facility and grinding plant. So 99, and then we did an update in 2001. So been around a long time, been through a lot of things. We've been through world wars, the Depression, fires that we had in the plant. We went through bankruptcies. So the company itself is very well in North Dakota, and currently is the oldest manufacturing plant in North Dakota.
So Corey, so tell me, how many, what kind of production numbers does a plant like that have? Is it, is it constantly going? What kind of production do you guys produce on a daily basis?
Our capacity with this new facility would go, depending on what we are running, but anywhere from 41 to 45 million brick per year is what we can manufacture. Currently, in the state of economy the way it is, we are not producing to that level. But I will say that within all of the United States, our facility is running as fast as any of the plants that are out there today. So why can we do that? With our clay sources that we have, Darren, we have products that are unique to the marketplace, are unique to, all over. Our grays, our blacks are very unique. So it lends itself for us to go to all parts of the United States and Canada, to tell you the truth.
So, Corey, I'm interested in finding out, is there much difference in the production of the brick compared to what it was 116 years ago? Are they still, the clay is taken and molded and then baked? Is that kind of how that works? So is the process kind of still the same, only with upgrades in technology?
Yeah, when our facility was first started, actually there was they were it was a press. So basically it pressed it into a mold, and then we would put it into basically let's say we would call it a periodic or a beehive kiln. So we would stack the brick in there by hand. It was coal fired. So we would start this coal and we would close the door up, and with brick itself, let that burn for a amount of time, take the brick down off the door, and pull everything out by hand. Nowadays, so you're very limited on the amount of pieces that you can do. I think originally per year they were in that 5 to 8 million pieces per year that they were capable of doing once we got to the periodic kilns. Nowadays, again, with the capacity, how we operate now is state-of-the-art grinding facility, which lends itself to your base material being ground to a real fine. Everything is very accurate as far as additives goes into what we would call is the production line. Our pug mill is under pressure, and a big auger in there kind of shoots it out like a Play-Doh machine, gets cut into brick sizes, is loaded onto kiln cars by robots, and then goes through the burning process. One of the things that has not changed a lot is how we package, and basically we package a lot like years past, in the sense that we handle the product, meaning we have people taking the brick off the kiln cars and putting it into packages. So things have changed a lot, but they haven't. I mean, the basics are there. Technology, like you said, is changed dramatically.
So at what temperature are the bricks fired, and how often do you start them up every day, these ovens, or how does the production work on those?
Depending on what product we are running, again, with our facility and with our clays, we manufacture colors anywhere from a off-white to a black. So all the colors in between. So you have a scoria color or terracotta. We have a deep blood red. We have browns. We have tans. And then our grays are super popular, and we call them a cool gray. So all of those products have additives, but they all are burnt at certain temperatures. Our temperature ranges from anywhere from like 1970 degrees all the way up to 2180 degrees. So obviously it's very hot. With that said, our kiln never shuts off. It is a 24-hour, 7 days a week that kiln shuts off. So when we leave on Friday, we have to have enough cars produced and sitting in the holding rooms and dryers to accommodate us pushing kiln cars through the kiln all the way through the weekend. So again, we have 160 cars total. So between when we're done on Friday, we have to have all of the dryers full and the holding room, and everything is automated. So I mean, it's not like we have to go push it with a tractor. It's on a like a railroad tracks going through the kiln, and there's the mechanism that just kind of pulls the cars through the kiln. About every 30 minutes, cars will move.
So Corey, you had talked about the fact that that you sell from Canada and all across the United States. So I guess I'd like to elaborate on that a little bit, just because, well, I can understand it because, of course, as a husband, we all know that the variations of color is very necessary because there's like 15 different colors of gray and 19 colors of black and 19 colors of white, and those are all imperative. But so you have a production facility in West Central North Dakota that's not a huge town, but yet I guess first question, so where do you sell all of your product, and why is it so popular in other parts of the country? And then second of all, how in the world do you get these bricks, because I'm guessing that bricks are heavy. It can't be the easiest thing to be transporting. So how do those two things work for you?
Again, like I said before, some of the colors that we manufacture are unique to a lot of markets. So us shipping to New York and California and Texas, yes, we do those types of things. Some of it is color. Some of it is the different sizes that we make, Darren. Some of it is the texture. We make multiple textures. So again, when you have developers, architects, designers, again, just like you were talking about, and what particular shade of gray, what black do they want? Again, coming from a facility like ours where we manufacture a wide variety of color in one facility rather than pulling from several different facilities, it makes it easy for those designers and architects to pull from one plant rather than several to accommodate all the colors that they may want on their project. Yes, where we are located sometimes is a hindrance because freight is a large factor when you're shipping full bed depth brick. In our development throughout the years, Darren, what we've also done is nowadays thin brick is a popular item. So again, it's not that full bed depth brick. We're shipping a thin veneer product. Again, areas that are susceptible to seismic zones, they use a lot more thin products. Areas down in like Arizona, they use a lot more thin products. So those areas, and us developing our thin line has helped us also with getting product to market more economically. Just to give you an example, if I were to ship a full truckload of brick, I can get approximately 1,840 square feet on that truck of brick, okay? If I were to ship a full truckload of thin brick, I can get 8,760 square feet to a truckload of product. So as you can see, I can get just about 7,000 square feet more on a truck if I'm shipping thin. So obviously you can see if that truck costs $3,000, cost per square foot goes down by shipping the thin brick. So that helps us. Again, cost of freight is a big factor. One of our largest customers is Canada, obviously, and us as a company can finally say that we're closer than anybody is. But again, we still ship a lot of products into the United States. There's areas in the United States that even more so than Fargo, North Dakota, use a lot more brick. And again, with our color selections and size and texture selections, it helps us out there.
Corey, you mention frequently, the color selections, and I want to go back to that a little bit. So, are the colors of the brick based upon the clay that you remove, or is there additives that you can put in for color, or how does that process work?
Yeah, both actually, Darren. So we have two different, let's call clays out at our facility. One is more of a buff tone, and the other one is more, again, I would call it a terracotta scoria color. So if we burnt those natural clays, that's kind of the color tones. From there, we can also change color just by temperature, Darren. Again, we talked about, going from 1970 to 2180. So, 100 degrees difference, even with I burn the same clay, will change the color of that product. So those things. The other thing that we can do is to put additives into the clay itself. So, and we use natural products, manganese, chromite, again, natural to the clay itself, which lends itself that our product does not fade. I mean, we talk about all these things, and if you look at a clay brick wall, it is a much more vibrant looking wall. It will not fade in time. 100 years from now, 50 years from now, if you washed that wall down, it will be the same color as it was when you first put it up. unlike anything that you have to add a coloring to, of sorts, will fade in time. So those types of things. Beyond just the clay itself, we do, again, put additives or stuff onto the face of our product, and that will get fired onto the face as well. So we can do multiple different ways of changing the color of the body or changing just the face of the product itself, to lend us to get a bunch of different wide variety of colors.
Corey, you'd mentioned the fact that you do sell a lot of brick in territories that may be susceptible to earthquakes. I think you use seism something like that. That was a word that I had to look it up while I was off screen here in order to figure that out. So obviously earthquakes, but are there other factors, whether it's rodents, insects, things like that, that make brick very desirable in other parts of the country as well?
Sure, there's a bunch of things with masonry, really and truly, in all parts of the country. Again, a couple of things that we have specifically down south, where there's a lot of humidity, termites, those types of situations. Our product does not obviously lend itself for termites to like it at all. They're not going to eat away at our product. Likewise with any kind of moisture and mold, those types of things do not lend itself for brick to grow on. If water is present, mold will not go, because it, again, has nothing to feed on as far as our product goes, unlike sheetrock and wood and those types of products. The other thing that's great about our product, Darren, is specifically a lot of large cities tend to use our product because of how close buildings are, those types of things. Our fire rating, it is a fireproof product. So if there is a fire right next door to you, the building next to it is well protected from fire. So those types of situations in large cities, they use a lot of. Again, our cost in the wall initially is probably a little bit higher than a lot of other products. But if you look at our cost after 25 years, 30 years, our product is a way better value.
And I think that with a lot of the redevelopment, specifically in Fargo, you see a lot of the old buildings being refurbished, and it's amazing how the old brick still, the texture and there's a warmness and a quality that it brings to all of the projects that you see downtown. So it's I really think that's cool. Okay, Corey, here's a question for you. So of all of the bricks that Hebron has ever made, so there's a North Dakota brick somewhere in the world that was manufactured here. Where is the farthest place that a Hebron brick currently resides?
I would say Japan. We have some products that we have supplied over in Japan. And again, if you can believe this, we have a thin brick project over there, and then we also have a full brick project over there. So yeah, that would probably be the farthest away that I can think of.
Well, when are we going to go? Let's go check those out. I think that would be great.
That wouldn't be a bad idea if we can travel one of these days. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Corey, one of the things that that you had sent me prior to us visiting today was a video that had been done by Ford, the Ford company, and it was, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. They had done a series called "We Build America," and interestingly enough, they chose to do a feature piece on Hebron. Could you tell us a little bit about that project?
Yeah, so we were approached, and at the time I got Rodney Pasica, who at the time was the owner and CEO of our company, and they were looking for within each state in the United States a manufacturing facility that has been around a while and kind of represented each state in which it had it. So we were happy to do it. I think Hebron Brick represents North Dakota real well. I think North Dakotans like our clay is very strong. It is. You look at it, the hardworking people of North Dakota. We just lend ourselves to being hardworking, long-lasting, timeless, and again, the piece came off well. So if you go onto our website, you guys can take a look at the. It kind of gives a little piece on Hebron and how long we've been around.
Corey, I think we'll wrap up today with one of the things that you'd mentioned to me that Rodney Pasieka was the owner. So I know within the past couple of years, Hebron Brick has transitioned into an ESOP, and I would like it if you wouldn't mind sharing that process and how that decision was made.
Yeah. So again, Rod Pasieka, as generous as a guy that he is getting to the age where he would like to step back a little bit. And so what do you do with a company like ours? Rod, obviously his heart and soul is into this company and wanted it to be around. Rod did look at different way of selling the company, looked at private equity companies. He did not like the look of Hebron Brick in those situations. So he went down the road of moving the company over to a employee-owned product with the help of First National Bank. He really and truly gave each and one of us employees a great opportunity to be well invested into this company, which hopefully will be around for a lot of years, Darren. Again, 1904 to now, we're over 115 years old, and we would love to keep it around. But basically, what it is, it gives each one of us a reason to come to work and make it better. And we can't thank Rod Pasieka enough for that opportunity. So.
Well, Corey, thank you very much for your time today. Very much appreciated. It's maybe when people are heading west towards Medora, the next time they see Hebron, they'll take heed of it a little bit more. It doesn't look like a huge manufacturing city like so many within our country already are. But Corey, thank you very much for the role that you play in the world economy. But especially your commitment to our market and to our region and to our state. We want to thank you and Hebron Brick for making the best better. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce of Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo, thank you for keeping your corporate offices here. And I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. And maybe when you get that trip to Japan worked out, please remember me. I'd love to join you over there.
Well, make sure you have your passport ready. Thanks,
all right. Man. We will definitely do that. Corey, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.